Back. Time now for news from the left. First up, the very bougie AOC wants to dump her Tesla now that Elon Musk is a Republican. I can't talk tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. AOC telling Bloomberg News, at the time, it was the only electric vehicle that could get me from New York to Washington on like 1 or 1.5 charges. I would love to switch now. She doesn't want the Tesla anymore. It's funny because all the other electric cars are so ugly. Tesla's the only one making one that's actually kind of good looking. The funniest part about this story, though, is that AOC is pretending that she drives this emission-free car from New York to Washington to keep up with her whole climate change agenda, which she pushes all the time, when the truth is, and we know this because we saw her constantly when she was first elected, because all she did was make noise about climate change, this woman, New York and D.C. are so close. It's like a 3.5-hour drive. She flies. She won't take the train because she's too good for the train. She's an elitist, right? So she flies first class from New York to Washington. It's like a 35-minute flight. It's hilariously short. But she has to fly and burn all that jet fuel. She can't practice what she preaches, and now she's trying to pretend like she got a Tesla for the drive from New York to Washington. This woman rides around in a caravan of Suburbans and flies from New York to D.C. because she doesn't want to take the train. That's who AOC really is. Don't let her fool you. So phony. Next up, critics already calling Ricky Gervais' new Netflix comedy special transphobic. Yes, we have another transphobic comedian, which means he's a comedian that's still funny. Here's part of the new special.
Oh, women. Not all women. I mean the old-fashioned ones. You know, the old-fashioned women. Oh, God. You know, the ones with wombs. Oh. Those dinosaurs. No, I love the new women. I know the new women. They're great, aren't they? You know, the new ones we've been seeing lately. The ones with beards and...
So one Twitter user writing, Ricky Gervais is a disgrace. He is going to cause hate crime and ultimately the death of trans folk. Anyone who needs to vilify minorities to get a laugh is the most evil, hateful soul and seriously needs mental health. So trans people are now minorities. So we're just, got to keep track of the victim log here in our lovely country. Next up, first Batman's sidekick Robin came out as bisexual, then Superman's son was bisexual. The latest superhero to enter the LGBTQ world is a Power Ranger, apparently. It has been announced that a new Power Ranger, I didn't know they still did this, they did this when I was a kid, set to be introduced in the latest comic book run named the Death Ranger, will identify as non-binary. Did anybody ever think these things were having sex in the first place? The Power Rangers? I mean, aren't they little like robots or something? What are we doing? As well as being non-binary, the new Ranger is described as using they-them pronouns, as does their entire enigmatic alien race. So let's show this thing to you. There he is. I mean, I don't know why it matters what's underneath whatever the hell he's wearing, but apparently it does. Welcome to woke America. The Power Rangers now are they-them. You just gotta laugh. Moving along, back in 2011, this is a good story. A romance novelist named Nancy Brophy wrote a book called How to Murder Your Husband, which frankly, what wife hasn't thought about it, let's be honest. And 11 years later, 71-year-old Nancy Brophy has just been convicted of murdering her husband. Second-degree murder. Brophy and her attorney even admitting that she had been considering a story about a woman who slowly acquired gun parts in order to complete a weapon and turn the tables on an abusive husband, an abusive partner. And Nancy Brophy did exactly that. She slowly collected gun parts online, and then in 2018, she went to her husband's work while nobody was around, and she shot him to death. Ain't that something? Did you ever see Fatal Attraction? Michael Douglas, Sharon Stone. She writes a book about killing her lover, kills her lover. And then in the end, she's going to pull the thing out when she's on top of Michael Douglas, and then she doesn't do it. The passion was so strong. Good movie. Same kind of thing, except Nancy Brophy's not nearly as sexy as Sharon Stone. Finally, after all those months of desperately trying to get back into the NFL, which he compared to a slave auction just last year, it looks like Colin Kaepernick is actually getting a shot. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Las Vegas Raiders are now interested in Kaepernick and will reportedly bring him in for a workout at some point this week. I don't know how old he is now. It's been a while, though, since he's been in the league. Raiders owner Mark Davis has previously said he had no issue with the team signing Kaepernick if it's what the franchise's leadership wanted to do. Kaepernick not only hasn't played in several years, he's also compared the NFL draft process to a slave auction in that documentary last year. Do you remember this?
Before they put you on the field, teams poke, prod, and examine you, searching for any defect.
Come on, boy, hurry up. Look at that shape there. Look at this. Mr. Favre, I got your bid. 30, James, 30 to you. 100.
Please let me back on the plantation, Colin Kaepernick says. You can't make it up.